Did you guys get outside today? Yeah, it actually ended up being a really nice morning. First opportunity to get outside. I think our players had some good energy, and we're really excited to have really a change of scenery, have a nice day out, sunny, and to be in a different element. It was good. Looking forward to Saturday, Student Appreciation Day, opportunity for us to open our doors for the students to come over, watch our football team practice and scrimmage, and get a chance to interact in some drills and some competitive drills when it's over. Again, we want this to be a football team that's embraced by the university, especially the student body, and want them to come around as much as they can, and really looking forward to Saturday. So with that, I'll go ahead and open it up for questions.
Chris, I think you probably know what the first question is by now. Quarterback reps, how are they being handled?
What a shock. What a shock. Last week we sat here and talked about the quarterback situation, and said Laviano was probably slightly ahead at that point. It's really back to even. He did not have a very good scrimmage last Saturday. Can't say that the other ones did either, but it's good days, it's bad days right now with all of those quarterbacks. So they're back to getting the equal number of reps and sharing opportunities with the ones. And right now we're just looking for more consistency at that position. Again, we thought we were hopefully going in a little bit of a direction where one guy was separating himself a little bit, but had some setbacks, and the other guys have had some good days too. So it's lack of consistency right now. It's lack of protecting the football and making the right decisions that really is it's keeping anybody from separating from the others and being a clear-cut leader.
I know the spring game's still 8 days away, but have you thought, will you do one guy on the white team, one guy on the red team?
Still working through all of that. We'll probably rotate the quarterbacks with the red and the white team, just kind of like what we've been doing in practice. There'll be opportunities for, if not all three of them, at least two of them to have reps with the ones and then go and have reps with the twos. There's still a lot that we have to sort out before we make that final decision. We got a few more practices before we finalize that.
Chris, what are you seeing at middle linebacker right now? Who's looking good, and what are you really looking for? A bunch of guys are trying out there, it looks like.
I'll be honest with you. I'm seeing a mess at middle linebacker. We've tried a lot of different guys. Right now we're running Deontay Roberts at middle linebacker. We moved him in there from will linebacker, and he's been playing Mike for the last 2 days. Really trying to find a guy in there that's one, he's a leader. He can get things right. He's a tough guy. He can execute the calls, plays extremely hard, and he's a steadying force if things aren't going the right way. And right now we're trying to find that right individual, and we keep shuffling through. And at some point somebody will step up and be the guy. But right now Deontay Roberts is the guy that has been running with the one Mike position here the last 2 days.
Chris, another linebackers question. I know you kind of use your strong side linebacker a little differently. Can you kind of describe the importance of that position in your defense?
In this day and age of college football, there's so much spread offense. There's so much of the game being played out in space, and in the college game, so much of the game is played on the hash. And what we want is really a hybrid type of a linebacker out there, a guy that probably is a better athlete than the Mike or the Will. He's got some DB skill sets to him. Can cover a little bit, but he's also big enough, strong enough, and physical enough to play in the box when he's asked to do it. So it's really a unique position. It's one that's a challenging position to fill. Again, those of you guys that followed us at Ohio State, Darren Lee was the prototypical type of guy that we wanted in that spot. Right now, Najee Clayton is really filling that role for us. He's done a really good job. Greg Jones has also been out there making plays and doing a good job. So what we've done is we've taken some safeties, some bigger safeties, some guys that we think can grow into the position, and moved them closer to the line of scrimmage. Not truly linebackers, but they're hybrid guys, and I really like what those guys have done out there for us so far.
Coach, you already knighted Trey Snead. What has he shown you in the early going to deserve that honor?
Consistent effort, consistent toughness, coachability, and a great attitude every single day. But really it's his effort every single day, and everything that he does, he's very coachable. He goes hard all the time. And when I watched him at the scrimmage last Saturday, when I made the decision, it was a head coach's decision, and everyone looked at me. It was kind of scratching their head, what are you doing? Every time I watch that kid in the weight room and the off-season drills, and when he's been at practice, it's been 100 miles an hour, and he's shown that he's extremely tough and coachable, and it's that way every single day. And those are the characteristics that we want this team to play with right now. I thought it was the right opportunity to reinforce that message and knight a guy that demonstrates that.
Have you knighted anybody else since Saturday?
Have not.
I've seen you guys doing like the circle drill, Ring of Honor, whatever you call it. Just why do you do that? What do you think the team gets out of that?
Several things. One, it's a one-on-one drill, and the game of football is about the one-on-one battles within the game. We talk a lot about the difference. It's blow delivery. It's hand placement in that drill. It's a race to see who can get their hands inside and win with the hand position. It's about football position, hairline to chin, and it's about just being able to execute in front of the eyes of your peers. So it's a competitive drill. It's a fundamental drill. It's a great tempo setter for the start of practice, and I love it. We're going to continue to do it, especially on Saturdays when we talk about scrimmage stuff. I think it's a great way to start the day. But it just reinforces all the things that we want. We want players that will compete. We want the players that play with good football position. We want players that use their hands the right way, and we want guys that when their number is called, they can go out and be ready to go in front of their peers.
Chris, the kicking position, how do you feel about that at this point?
Not good. Not good. We need more competition. We need to get some guys back for the fall practice where we've got some guys that are competing for jobs, and right now we don't have that. And we're inconsistent with our kickers, our snappers, in those two areas. The actual schemes with special teams on our punt team and kickoff return and punt return, those are the three areas that we've drilled the most. I'm kind of pleased right now with where we're at schematically, but just the execution of snaps and kicks, we're not anywhere where we need to be.
Possible that you could bring in a grad transfer, some more competition?
Anything's possible. We'll see where we're at with the end of spring practice. We'll see where, what the options are for all positions. That's not just kicking. Right now we're trying to continue to evaluate. We're continuing to develop. We'll evaluate at the end of spring where we're at. And if there are other options that pop up that really fit what we're looking for and they fit within our scholarship allotment, then we'll have conversations. But just because a kid's a grad transfer doesn't mean he's better than what we've got. Doesn't mean that he's going to come in and have the characteristics that we want. That's an easy solution on paper, but not necessarily the right solution for the long term.
Obviously, Zeke Moco, in a sling, riding a bike all spring. Just how far behind is he, and what does he need to do, between now and camp to maybe get up to speed?
When he just had the first shoulder surgery, he was able to lift a lot in the weight room, and his other arm was actually getting pretty big. He was putting on a lot of weight. But once he had to go and have the second operation, it has set him back quite a bit because he hasn't been able to get in the weight room and develop his upper body like we need him to. He's got a lot of work to do just physically and mentally to learn our scheme because he hasn't been getting any reps between now and fall training camp and whenever he's cleared to be 100% to go. But he's a guy that we need. He's a guy that's got some twitch and he's explosive. He can rush the passer, and that's something right now that I feel like we're probably missing on our defense, is a guy that can do that. So we need him badly, but he's got a long way to go, and we'll see how committed he is. I mean, he's done a great job in the things that we've asked him to do up to this point. Really like his attitude, and the way he's attacked his rehab, and we'll just see what he does when he gets out on the football field.
What are your thoughts on getting ready for spring evaluation? What are your goals for when that gets underway?
I guess. Yeah, for recruiting. One, we have to continue to establish relationships with coaches as we go out on the road. We've identified a lot of the type of players that we want to recruit into this program. We've been recruiting relentlessly since we got here in January. We've been all over the class of 2017 for quite some time. We talk to several prospects daily. We've had a ton of them here on campus, and we go out here in the spring. It's about building relationships with coaches. It's continue to follow up with their academic progress to see where they're at. Academically, some guys are great, some guys are not. We need to get updates on where they're at with that. And then we'll go back again. You get 2 opportunities to go out and evaluate in the spring. We'll go do our academic evaluation. Then we'll go back and hopefully get a chance to do some athletic evaluation. First opportunity to go out is tomorrow, and we'll have 9 coaches out tomorrow.
Something I think the fans will be interested in. I understand you're not going to give out the traditional Rutgers Spring Awards. What was the reasoning behind that?
There's a lot of changes that have gone on here. There are a lot of things that have been traditional here at Rutgers. It's a new era, and I'm going to do things the way that I think that they need to be done, or I want them to be done. Now, I've said this several times to people. If it's the same way business has been done in the past, and that's the way that I want to do it, great. If it's different, it's different. And I can't. I could apologize for it, but I'm not. It's just the way I want to do things in the program. I'll be honest with you. There hasn't been a lot of conversation at all since I've been here until here in the last day or two about spring awards. We're nowhere ready to give anybody an award for anything. To give an award for the most improved on offense or defense, I couldn't even begin to tell you who that would be. And I don't think anybody wants to get a fake award just because it's something that's been going on. Do I want to respect traditions of the past at Rutgers? Absolutely. But again, if it's not what fits me or fits what I want moving forward, then we're going to have a discussion on whether it's worth doing or not. And right now, I just don't feel it's the right time to do that. As we move forward, if I think next spring it's something that fits into our program, then we will reevaluate it. But just right now, after being here for our first spring, I just don't feel it's the right time. It's been a while since Rutgers football has had a different direction. I mean, it's been done the same way for a long time, and it just doesn't fit us right now.
Jim Harbaugh speaking over at Paramus Catholic. Just your general thoughts on that?
Good for him. I wish I was, to be honest with you. And unfortunately, the rules are the rules. I mean, it's legal. There's nothing illegal about that. There's a lot of conversation about satellite camps being eliminated, so I'm sure people are trying to find other creative ways to get their face out in front of high school prospects around the nation, and that's a legal way to do it. And do I necessarily like it? No, I don't. I don't want another coach from another program to be able to come into our state and be able to basically present their logo and their team, their program in our state. But the rules are rules. It's legal. I can't complain about it. I've got to go out and do it myself if I get the opportunity.
Coach, going back to the quarterback race, what has Hayden really done to improve himself over the last week or so?
Excuse me?
What has Hayden really done to improve himself?
Yeah. He's gotten a little bit more consistent. He got a long way to go. All of them do. I mean, to say that if we were going to go out and play a game on Saturday and feel like we were going to get consistent, good quality reps from the quarterback position to give us a chance to win, that's not going to happen right now. We got a long way to go with all of them. Hayden specifically is probably, here in the last few days especially, has probably been more consistent, which has been nice to see. But all of them, they ride the roller coaster from one day to the next, 1 week to the next, and we can't do that.
In your past, a lot was made of when you put the rugby tackling in. Just how has that gone here, and how much of a difference have you seen that make?
Last Saturday's scrimmage was probably the first opportunity I really got a chance to see it show up. It's a different way to tackle. The players have not been resistant to it. They've been open to it. I think they all know that one of the biggest areas of improvement that's needed on defense is tackling. There were a lot of yards given up last year because of missed tackles, and that's not just Rutgers. That's with a lot of defenses. So, again, back in 2014, at Ohio State, we did an exhaustive research and study on the most effective way to tackle and the safest way to tackle, and we settled on this, and it helped improve our defense there. And from what I have seen here so far in the few months that we've been doing it, based on last scrimmage, we were about 90% effective in all the tackle attempts that we had, which is off the charts. So there was a ton of improvement based off of what I saw in scrimmage. Now, does that translate to better tackling in the fall? We'll see. But in the opportunities that we've done live tackling, I have seen improvement, and I can show several examples on film of what we're teaching, both in the meeting room and in the individual drills. It's transferring over to live situations, and as long as we can continue that trend, then we'll be better off.
I guess I follow that. Do you feel like you guys were teaching the wrong way then for the first 20 years? Because it's amazing that
it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was. And I think right now today there are a lot of people that don't teach tackling the right way. Do I feel like I've solved it and have the answers? No, but what I tell people a lot right now, if you want to figure out how to tackle, pick up your remote and push play. Study the tackles that are being made in the game of football. And then as you study the tackles that are being made, go back and self-evaluate yourself in what you're teaching, and is what you're teaching actually showing up on the game field. And I can tell you back in 2014, every defensive coach at Ohio State, as we really went back and studied tackles being made in the game of football on game day, what we were teaching was not showing up. So right then you got to think about what you're teaching, re-examine what you're doing, and find out how to do it better and how to basically recreate what's happening on the game field naturally into your drills and into your teaching, and that's what we did. And it's no different here. That's what we're trying to do. But to answer your question, I think it's hard for coaches to stand up and say, yeah, we were wrong and we were teaching it wrong. And, 2014, that self-evaluation, we decided we were doing it wrong and there's better ways to do it. And there's a lot of coaches. Tackling's not the only fundamental in football that people continue to learn and do better, whether it's blow delivery, stances, steps, whatever. There's always ways to improve and do it better. I think what a lot of coaches need to do is have the guts to admit that they're wrong and find better ways to do things. Not everybody's willing to do that. Great, thanks. I'm leaving, so we're not going to talk about it. I can't believe no one asked about satellite camp, so I'm out.